Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for coming again to part 2 of Eddie's talk about not only security on the bank and phone, but also the second half of his talk, which will be strictly iPhones. Eddie, take it away.
Thank you so very much. We learned a lot of things last time, and I'm really thankful to be here a second time.
It was great.
So we have a lot of good information to cover. How many of you did not come to the presentation last week? 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's a little bit. That means I need to go over one thing again. The other things, this lovely man right here made a video of my talk last week, and that's out for you to see. There's a link on Circle, or you can come and ask me and I'll send you the link to it. So I'm not going to cover everything I did last week, just one little piece that's important for you to understand in order for us to continue. So that's good to know that some of you were not here. As Cindy said, we're going to talk about some general safety, some general travel stuff that I want to discuss as a community, but then we're going to spend most of the time talking about our iPhones. And so if you are Android users, when we get to that point, it will not hurt my feelings if you leave. Because it's strictly going to be iPhones, and I'll work on Android's safety in the future, okay? So, let's get started. Last time, I did talk to you about ATM fees. And I talked to you about how if you utilize companies like Fidelity or Charles Schwab, they will refund you the ATM machine fee, as well as not charge you a fee. And if you guys remember, I talked to you about this screen that you see on ATMs around the world, where they will charge you a markup %, and they always want you to click, they always want you to click there on that accept conversion. And this bank is charging a 15%. What's important for, I didn't mention one small detail. You must train yourself to click decline conversion on these ATMs, because even if you use Charles Schwab or Fidelity, they will not reimburse you for that 15% that the ATM is charging you. It's very interesting how they do this. They have an ATM fee, which in Mexico is around 81 pesos, $4. And that conversion rate, which can be $20, $50, that somehow it doesn't go through the system as an ATM fee. It's a conversion of two currencies, and these two banks will not reimburse for that. So it is very important that never click accept conversion, always click decline conversion, okay? Any questions on that from last week? Great, let's keep going. I talked briefly last time, when I ran out of time, about we all carry a phone off the ship to take pictures and to use Google Maps, GPS My City. We use our phone when we're off the ship. And we talked about our banking systems and how to be safe with them. And I brought up the subject that maybe we should consider investing in a second phone. And so we talked about that, and I told you I have already decided when we get to California, I will be buying me a new phone. And I want to talk again about these two phones. And one of the things I really want to talk about is the connectivity and the eSIM. When I said eSIM last week, somebody asked me, what is an eSIM? And it is a concept that might be new to all of us, so I want to cover this so everybody understands what is a SIM card, what is an eSIM, what are the different applications that are available to us as we're traveling around the world. So on the phone that I'm going to take off the ship, which has the best camera between my two phones, that's where I'm going to have just one banking app, not all of my banks, just the bank that is my travel bank that has a very small amount of money in it. We talked about that. And this particular phone needs to have connectivity no matter where I go in the world. It needs to have data so that I can get WhatsApp messages, Google will be working, Translator will be working when I'm at an ATM and I'm trying to convert and figure out how much money my conversion utility is going to work. So we need connectivity on this phone. The phone that's in your safe that has your other banking apps on it and all your other stuff, that connectivity can just be done through Wi-Fi. I will have an eSIM app on that secondary phone, but I won't be using it. I'll have a 1-year plan, but I'll turn it off until I need that emergency phone, and I'll explain what I just meant by all of that. All right, so let's talk about what is an eSIM for connectivity. In the past, cell phones had this little chip that's called a SIM card, and if you have traveled the world, you have probably already experienced that as you go into a new country, we used to have to go to some kind of store that sold these eSIMs, a little cellular plan for that specific country. And we would take ours out and put in a new one, and then we had cell service in that country, right? This is like old way. It was a hardware solution to giving us connectivity. A couple years ago, somebody figured out that they can replace that piece of hardware with software on our phone. And this is what is called an eSIM, or an electronic SIM card. Now, one thing is important, not all cell phones support an eSIM. If you have a really, really old phone, it's not going to support an eSIM technology. And so some of the things I'm going to show you today, your phone won't do this. You have to research that. Yes? Fred?
There are physical SIMs that will support eSIM.
Ooh, good.
Which is what
Okay.
I have in my phone.
Very cool. Okay, get this. I didn't know this. This is why, once again, my talks are always a conversation. I am presenting, but I'm actually see myself as coordinating a conversation between all of us. What Fred just told me is that he has a physical SIM card that allows him to run an eSIM app on his phone because his phone didn't support eSIMs, but he got a special SIM card that now allows him to do it. That is a great tip. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so you do have to research your phone, find out if it supports an eSIM. Older phones don't. If it doesn't, talk to Fred and he can help you find a SIM card that you can insert your phone that would support eSIM technologies. So what there are now apps. I use this particular app, Arialo. I don't even know how to say that. Arialo. We are about to go to Hawaii and nobody can pronounce Hawaiian names, so I have the same problem. Anyway, there are many apps that you can choose from. I'm just going to explain the concepts of how they work. You can shop around. This is just the app that I particularly use. And Angel and I love it. We traveled around the world a lot in the last 3 years, and we were buying those little SIM cards every country we went to. And when somebody told us about this app, we tried it out, and it has worked fabulously over the last year as we were in Europe and everywhere. And as we've been on this cruise ship, it worked. How many of you guys use this app?
I try, but it doesn't work for me usually.
Okay, you tried, you had some problems with it, but there's at least 5 or 6 people that use it.
I used a different one.
You use a different app, but it's the same type. Okay, great. This is fantastic that majority of you don't use it. Yes?
On the eSIM, when you go back around, can you use the same eSIM the next time you hit the town? Like say you have to buy an eSIM for Brazil. The next time you go to Brazil, can you use that same eSIM? Or do you have to buy a new one?
Great question. What she is asking is, if you buy an eSIM in Brazil, the next time you come back to Brazil, do you have to buy a new eSIM? The answer is, the question that you're asking is not about eSIMs. Your question is regarding this little piece of hardware that you take in and out of your phone. So when you did have to use these little pieces of chips, you could take it out when you left Brazil, and when you come back to Brazil, you can put it back in. But when you get into an eSIM, there is no little chip. That's the key. So you're not really buying a little chip. It's all done through an application. Yes, Fred?
Many country-specific eSIMs are only good for 30 days.
Yes.
So when you come back in 3 years, you need to buy a new eSIM.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the different plans. That's what's coming up next. Let's talk about that. Okay, so with this particular app that I use, they have all kinds of plans for me to select. I can select a particular country. I can select a region, like all of Asia, or I can select a global plan that covers 138 countries, okay? Before I got on the Odyssey, we were traveling around the world and we were installing and selecting a regional plan like all of Asia, because that's where we were going to go. But now that we're on the Odyssey and we're going all over the world, we have begun selecting a plan in this app for 138 countries, and you'll notice here, it lasts for 365 days. So when you use one of these apps, there's all kinds of options on these plans. You can select it for 30 days, 15 days. Do you want 20 gig? Do you want 5 gig? And how long do you want it to last, and how many countries you want? What I am doing now is I'm just selecting the 365 day, the most gig that they can, and as many countries as they can, and it is costing me $69. This generally has been lasting me around 3 months with my data usage as we're off the ship, on the ship. The only problem I encountered with this app is when we were in the Caribbean. Their coverage of worldwide, these 138 countries, it did not include the Caribbean islands. I had to buy another plan in their app specific to the Caribbean. But other than that, this app has been working flawlessly for us.
It worked for you in South America?
It worked for me in South America, absolutely. So, this is what an eSIM is. I highly recommend that you guys start evaluating how much money do you pay for AT&T or T-Mobile and all those plans that you have. This is another option that is available to you as you're trying to figure out data on your phone as we're traveling around the world. Yes, John?
Eddie, when you had a physical SIM, you got a new phone number. Do you get the new phone number with an eSIM?
It is yes and no. In the past, this particular app did not allow me to make phone calls. So it wasn't like an actual SIM card where I had a phone number and I could make phone calls in that country. This is only a data plan that I've been using. But I did notice in this particular app, recently I saw that they are offering phone calls as well as data. I haven't utilized that function. I've only utilized the data piece of it. And so to make phone calls to foreign countries, I have a totally different app that I use. But I think these apps are moving away from data only to providing phone call stuff as well.
The
Good
Aerial
question.
app I have is supposed to include text and data, but it's to that other number, so there was no way to get a text or data incoming. You can't use it for like dual authentication because they know that it's an eSIM phone number. It didn't work well for me.
Okay. Somebody else back here had a question?
I would repeat that. They assign you a US number, but somehow all these other double cellular that seem to know that it's assigned to Ariel, not to me.
Okay, so you're saying you were having a problem getting a validation from your bank or to activate your phone when it was going through this particular eSIM card. Did you have the same problem when you were connected to the Wi-Fi on the ship?
Well, I never.
You couldn't activate your phone enough to even connect to the Wi-Fi on the ship. Okay, yes.
Same.
The purpose of this is when you get off the ship, you're going to use it. You're probably not going to use it on the ship. On the ship, you're going to use your Wi-Fi.
That is correct.
All right, so now you're getting off the ship, and this is enabling you to use any app on your phone, not to make cellular. You're saying now they're changing the plans, but what it's for, that you're out and you want to go on WhatsApp, you want to check your mail, your email, you want to do anything like your Google, like you're saying, that's what you're using it for Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so her question is, what is the real purpose of using this app and this function of an eSIM? So I want to clarify this again. It is giving me mobile data while I'm off the ship. When we're on the ship, we connect to the Wi-Fi and we have data to do anything we want. What this does is it gives my phone mobile data all the way around the world. Okay? Good questions, everyone. Wi-Fi, this, I'm not sure about the security of it. I just know that it does give me mobile data in 138 countries as we travel the world. And it's an easy thing. I never have, once I install it, and we go from country to country to country, my phone has kept working in all of the countries that we've gone to. And that is what I love. And it's a very cost-effective way to do it. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is Google Voice. All right, some of you know about Google Voice. Many of you don't. I am halfway knowledgeable. I've heard about it. I've talked to people that use it, and I have decided that once we hit Honolulu, I am dropping AT&T as my provider, and I'm porting my phone number to Google Voice, and this is what Google Voice will give me. It simply requires Wi-Fi or mobile data. So if I'm on the ship, I have Wi-Fi. If I'm off the ship, I have mobile data through the app we just talked about. Google Voice requires that. It gives me free voice calls to the United States. I can use my phone and call people in the United States no differently than if I had my phone in the US with AT&T. It gives me free text messages. So no matter where I'm in the world, if I have Google Voice app installed on my phone, I can receive text messages and I can receive phone calls and I can make phone calls. There's a couple clicker, some things that are important. I've been wanting to switch over to Google Voice since I learned about it several months ago, but I wasn't in the United States. This is for US only, and it won't let me activate the app until I'm inside the United States. This is why I'm waiting until we get to Honolulu, okay? In terms of porting your phone number, I want to keep my same phone number. Now I can go out on the Google Voice and have it just create a new phone number for me, but that's not what I want. I want to keep using my same phone number that I've had for 20 years so my friends can talk to me. What I've been told and what I've seen in the literature is it costs $20 one-time fee to port my phone over to Google Voice, and then after that is completely free. I am currently paying around $60 a month for an AT&T plan that doesn't even give me international stuff. It's just it gives me Mexico, United States, and Canada. But everywhere else it doesn't really do anything, but I've been paying for that. And once we get to Honolulu, I'm dropping AT&T. I am no longer paying $60 a month. I'm going to pay $20 to port my phone number over, and then text and phone calls will be free. Questions, Michael?
Yeah, just to agree with you, 10 years ago when I left the United States, I ported my phone number that I've had my whole life. I didn't want my friends and family to have to get a new phone number to contact me, and it cost me $20 10 years ago, and I haven't had a phone bill since.
Okay,
So it works great.
What Michael is saying is that he actually has done what I'm about to do. He said 10 years ago, he paid $20, he ported his phone number to Google Voice. He's been traveling the world for 10 years. He's never paid a phone bill. All he has is mobile data or Wi-Fi.
I have Airlow for the exact same reasons you talked about.
You're doing the exact same thing that I'm
I have the
proposing.
exact same plan, $69 a year.
And it's been working.
Yeah, I don't even use up all 20 gigabytes.
Perfect. Okay, next question. Thank you, Michael. So he is the living example as we have questions. He's an expert more than I am. I'm just following what I've heard, and what I'm about to do is what he's been doing for 10 years. Yes?
There's been rumors in tech circles for about the last 6 months that Google may drop voice. Google is a company that does tend to drop programs they no longer like.
Mm-hmm.
So just so everybody knows.
Everybody should know what Paul was just telling us is there's rumors that Google may be dropping this. And if they do, all of this goes away. So be aware as we're all making choices that it might go away, but as of right now, for the last 10 years, it's been working. Yes, Fred?
One possible downside.
Tell me.
Okay, I've been using Google Voice for many years.
Okay.
Not all banks, not all brokerages will accept two-factor authentication to Google Voice numbers.
Okay. So what?
Some don't.
Yeah. So what Fred is saying is that when you are dealing with your banks and you're having to do a double what is that called? Double authentication.
Two-factor authentication.
Two-factor authentication. Some banks are working fine through Google Voice, Texas, and other banks are not.
What are you
And
using the-
it seems to be random.
Or
Have you figured a way around the banks that don't?
Some of them will do an authenticator app, but that's fairly new.
Okay.
My question was, were you using a Google Voice phone number or the ported phone number, your actual phone number that you ported?
Google Voice number.
So
Okay.
maybe if you port your actual number, that won't be that problem, maybe.
Maybe. This is all.
Never had an authentication
Once you
problem.
port it.
Michael has
Is the
not
Google
had
Voice
any
number.
problems with his authentication with his banks. Fred has had some problems. We'll just be open to what, and as we all move forward, like I'm moving forward with this, because I'm tired of paying $50 a month, and I'm gonna do it for free. Yes?
I've been on this ship for 20 days, and my Google Voice has never worked.
She said she has been on the ship for 20 days, and her Google Voice has not worked. Interesting.
Activated when you were in the US?
It worked prior to getting on the ship?
Probably 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Well, you know what? You all don't have to do the things that I'm suggesting here. Here's what I would say. Let me lead. I'm more than happy. I will be the leader, and if I bleed, I will tell you. And so I'm going to keep going in our conversation. We got a lot of things to talk about. I just wanted to educate you about what these things were, and it does seem like there are some concerns. Michael's been using it for 10 years. Somebody else on the ship's been using it. I'm going to start once we hit Hawaii, and I'll keep you posted. Okay. While I'm in front of you, I wanted to teach all of you something that many of you just don't know how to do this. When we get off the ship, a habit that I've gotten into is I send Angel my location in WhatsApp of when we just got off the ship. So as we're walking around the cities, if we get lost, I can open up WhatsApp and go right back into the maps to get us back here. Many of us are doing different things. Some of us are dropping a pin on the location of the port terminal so we can find our way back. Many of us don't know how to drop a pin. So I'm just going to teach you some other ways that are really simple. You know how to attach a photo to a WhatsApp message. All of us have been sending photos to each other. And so you click that little plus sign in WhatsApp and then you tap on photos and you select a photo. I just want you to pause next time you do this on your phone, and you'll notice that there's other options. One of them is location. And so if you click the plus sign and then click on location, it'll allow you to send your current location to somebody in a WhatsApp message. So if you're in a group of people and you all are in a WhatsApp group already because you've been coordinating that excursion, just go ahead and one of you just send a WhatsApp message to that group or whoever you're traveling with and send that location. And then if you get lost, you can find your way back to the cruise terminal. There's another creative way to do this. I don't know if you have AirTags. I have AirTags in my suitcases. So if you're lost out there and you can't find the cruise terminal, open up the Find My app just like you would if your suitcase was lost. That's why you have an AirTag in your suitcase. And where's your suitcase at? It's on the ship. Where are you trying to get back to? The ship. So this is just another creative way to find your way back home if you get lost in a port city.
Just one more, you can take a picture. If your phone is capturing the geotag with the picture, you can open the picture, tap on the map, and get directions.
Perfect. What she says is you can take a photo in the port. and then you can drill into the data of that picture and find the geo map of that picture. So there's many ways, if you get lost, how to find your way home. Let's keep going. Another thing that I learned as I was traveling is my mail.
It's 9.
What?
It's 9 o'clock.
It's 9 o'clock, thank you. My mail. And so I use this service. There's 1,000 services out there. I pay $10 a month, and they give me a new address. All my mail goes there, they scan it, I get an email with it, and then I can read my mail. I don't inconvenience any of my family or friends back in Colorado. This is how I do it. Okay, who remembers, how does a thief actually break into your phone? So remember the story of Maui Jim. He got his phone stolen in South America, and within 1 hour's time, the thief was transferring $30,000 out of his bank.
What phone?
He had an iPhone. He had Uber open, standing on the street corner. And so who remembers, uh-oh, Walter. Let's try this again. There it goes.
He went into settings.
There it is, perfect. Thank you, Walter. All he had to do, did you notice that?
Just say that.
Walter just had to walk halfway here, and it solved the problem. All right. Okay, so some of you were not in the last presentation, so I'm going to cover this briefly so you'll catch up with us. Jim had Uber open on his phone, and as he was walking up to the sidewalk to get in the car, somebody stole his phone. And within 1 hour's time, when he got to the airport and he opened up his iPad, they had already robbed him of thousands of dollars, and they had 3 Zelle transactions that were pending of $10,000 each. And we had to figure out what happened and how did a thief do that. And I think I figured it out. Here's what the thief would do. They would swipe away from Uber, and then they would just go into a banking app like Capital One, or they would go into Bank of America. I think this is a better example. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, that's not possible for them to break into my app because I use Face ID to log in. Let me be clear, you use Face ID to get your user ID and your password to log into the bank. You're not using your Face ID to open the app. So, as soon as a thief has your phone in an open, unlocked state, he can open your banking app. It will fail to log you in because his face is not your face. But here's what's important. Right there on the screen where it says, I forgot my password or I forgot my ID, all the thief has to do is click on I forgot my password. What's your bank going to do? Your bank's going to send you a text or an email with a validation code to change your password. Where's that going to arrive? On your phone. Where's your phone? In the hand of the thief. It's very simple for him to go through these steps to change your user ID, change your password, and have access to your bank. So I'm going to show you tonight how to prevent a thief from doing those steps. Now I went through that really fast. The videos that are out on my YouTube channel, you can watch. It will walk you through all the steps much slower if you didn't keep up with what I was just saying. So let's now get into the solution part of this. On almost any app, not every app, on almost any app on your iPhone, watch what you can do. You can press and hold, and a pop-up menu appears. Second from the top, what does that say? Require Face ID. This is not requiring your Face ID to log into the bank. This is requiring your Face ID to open the app. And this is what we want to do to prevent a thief from getting into your bank. So watch what happens. I select Require Face ID. It gives me 3 choices here. Require Face ID, hide, and require Face ID, or cancel. Now, if I just say require Face ID, it's good. It's a good level of security. I have to be looking at my phone in order to get into the banking app. But what I think is better is hide and require. Because what our iPhones will do is it will move the banking app into a hidden folder, and the thief will not know what bank you use. So watch this. I select hide. It tells me a little bit of information about what's going to happen. I select hide my app, and my app just disappeared off of my home page. Now, if I use that search function down here at the bottom to search for the name of that app, it will not find it. Where did it go? Let's do it again on Bank of America here. I'm just going to select require Face ID, hide and require. I can read that, hide my app, and now Bank of America just disappeared. Remember I told you that when I looked at my phone 3 months ago, I had a folder on my home page with 4 banking apps inside of it, and the folder was called Banks. Made it very easy for a thief. But what a thief will do when he steals your phone is he's just going to swipe all the way to the end to where it's called App Library. I need to find my clicker. I put it down somewhere. Here it is. He's going to scroll all the way to the end to this App Library, and you'll notice there is a section right here that's called Finance. And your iPhone on default is going to have all of your banking apps right in that folder. So that makes it really easy. The thief doesn't have to really search for what banks you use. He will just go there and know. But my banking apps are not being displayed in that folder anymore because they're hidden. And if you scroll down at the very bottom, you'll see this folder here, and it's called Hidden. And if I tap on that and look at my phone, now I can see the 3 apps that I have hidden and that require my Face ID. So this is a very easy step that I think all of us should do, is go through your iPhone, any app that is financial in nature or privacy in nature, whatever you want to keep somebody from getting into. Again, all you have to do, press and hold. It will give you the pop-up menu. You select require Face ID, and if you want to hide the app as well, select hide and require, and it moves it into this folder. You can tap on that folder, then tap on the app, and then you can log in to your bank. Any questions on how to hide and require your Face ID to get into an app?
No, but one of the ones that I discovered after I did all that was that Amazon needs to go in there, because that's already got your credit card information, where to send it, and the minute you open up Amazon, it knows all about you, and they can buy anything in the world.
Very good. What Diane was saying is that she thought about this after learning this, and she put Amazon in there because her credit card is in Amazon. If somebody opens up Amazon, they can create a new address and start mailing things. So go through your apps and decide which apps that you want to require your Face ID just to open. I'm going to show you 3 more, and then I'll answer some questions. One of them is called Wallet. On your iPhone, we have this app called Wallet. That is where you can store a credit card or a debit card, and then you just take your phone and you tap the little machine with your phone, and it will charge your credit card or debit card. What we learned last week is please do not put a debit card in your wallet, because credit cards and debit cards are different. Credit cards have insurance in case there's theft and fraud. Debit cards do not. Don't make that mistake. It cost somebody I know over $1,000. So always use a credit card in the Wallet app, and since that has your credit card, press and hold and require Face ID on that. The second app that's on your phone is Passwords. This is how your iPhone is storing your passwords to all the websites and all the apps that we go into. I noticed that is another thing I think you should require Face ID just to open it. And then Find My. Find My is, if somebody did steal your phone, Find My is how you're going to tell Apple that your phone is stolen, and you're going to tell Apple to erase that phone so that the thief doesn't get any of your data. And you do not want the thief to go into that app and delete your device out of that, because then you're not going to have access to it to delete and erase all your data. So that's another really good app to require your Face ID. Okay? Questions?
It just tried to do that with wallet and Find My, and I'm not getting the hide, and I'm not getting the Find My required Face ID.
doesn't have that option.
Let me try this out. Oh, you're right. I will show you in a moment how to do that. There are some apps that it doesn't allow you to do require Face ID, but I figured out how to do this, and that's what I'm showing you next. Next question, Paul?
Hey Eddie, I watched your video on this and it was really good and I started to implement it. One thing I did notice and I wondered if you had, when you hide your bank accounts or anything like that, the one warning it tells you that you'll no longer receive notifications or alerts. Some banks put out fraud alerts when they suspect fraud and you won't get those anymore. Does that present a problem?
It can, yes. And so for that problem, let me repeat his question. What he was saying is when you move an app into your hidden folder, you're also hiding any notifications that that app would present to your phone. And so you're never going to see those notifications unless you open the hidden folder, and then you'll see the notifications. And so if something is important, you're going to have to train yourself to go look in here every day for notifications. But that is an important thing to know, that it's not going, your phone's not going to pop up a message saying you just got a message from Bank of America, because your phone doesn't know you have Bank of America anymore. Yes?
When I told Bank of America to send me such notifications,
I'm having a real problem because I am tethered now to this piece of wire and I cannot hear you.
She said she asked the bank to send her notifications to her email.
She asked her bank to send notifications to her email instead of through the app. That is one workaround. Okay, other questions before I continue? Yes?
On mine, when it goes to redo passwords, it requires Face ID.
Say that again, when you put in...
Well, if you want to have to redo the password, like you said, redo the password, and then it redoes the password, mine requires Face ID.
So he's saying that, and this is a banking app?
Yes.
When you put in your password?
No, if my face is in there and I go to hit on it to go to access my Capital One.
Okay.
And then it says, get my password, or I forgot my password, like you were saying, and I hit forget my password, it won't give me anything unless I have Face ID.
Now I understand. Now I love that. Okay, let's repeat what he said. Apparently, some banks are getting smarter because they figured out how thieves are doing this, and his bank, when he clicks on I forgot my password, his banking app requires his Face ID. Did I understand you correctly? That is excellent programming that will help solve this whole problem. So until your banking app does what his banking app does, I highly recommend that you use this functionality to require Face ID on an app. Now, let's move on. There is one very important app that we really want to keep a thief out of, and that is your Settings app. The Settings app has all kinds of things, including your Apple ID, your Apple password, your face, and lots of other settings. And that's one of the places a thief is going to want to go to, and we want to keep him out of that. In fact, if a thief tries to open up the Settings app, we want your phone to immediately lock itself down. What we're trying to do is create tripwires, and as a thief trips over some of these wires, your phone locks down, and all of a sudden he's like, ugh. That's what we want. Can you all do that for me? Go like this, go. Very good. Okay, so let me show you this. If I press and hold on the settings, it's just like that Find My app that you guys were brilliant to point out. There is no option here to require Face ID. So how are we going to do this? Let me show you, and let me introduce you to a new app. It is called Shortcuts, so if you search, there is an app right there at the top called Shortcuts, and you can open that up. I have it over here on this screen. This little app comes standard on iPhones. Most people have it, but if you don't, go to the App Store, download it, but it should already be on your iPhone. And I'm going to teach you this app tonight. It has all kinds of amazing things in it. Things that like flatten live photos. I use this. You know when that guy was on board and he was teaching us all kinds of things about photos? I really didn't know the difference between a live photo, and that's where it's like almost like a little small video, and the amount of data those take up on my phone are enormous compared to a normal photo. And so I actually found this little thing within Shortcuts that changes all of my photos that are live into a normal photo, which shrunk down all the data usage on my phone. But anyway, what I want to point out to you is down here at the bottom where it says automation. So, and as I go through this, what I want you guys to do, just put your phone down and watch. There's a complete video that I have made that I'm going to show you next that will walk you slowly, step by step by step. You don't have to do these steps now. What I want you to do is watch, learn, so that when you watch the video, you will understand, because it will be the second time that you've seen it, okay? So just watch for now. On this little app, I already have 2 automations that I've created. This one says when any of these 3 apps are open to automatically lock my phone. What do I want to keep the thief out of? I don't want him to read my text messages, and I don't want him to read my email, because that's how my bank is going to send a verification code. So I create a little automation that says if he opens my email or text message, to lock my phone. Boom. And what is the thief going to do? Come on, you guys can do this. Ready? What's the thief going to do? Very good. I think Kevin won that one. Good job. Okay, this one, I configured this one because remember Maui Jim's story. He had Uber open, and he's standing on the side of a street, and somebody stole his phone. Uber was open. So if he had this automation configured, as soon as the thief swiped away from Uber, it would have locked down the phone. And what would the thief have done? You guys are doing great. Okay.
Siri, lock my phone.
Yeah. That's another thing that you can do. If somebody steals your phone, just yell as loud as you can. Siri, lock my phone. And hopefully Siri will hear you. Uh-oh. She is listening to us. She is listening. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through how to create an automation. Just pay attention to this. These are really cool. So on this plus sign in the upper right hand corner, I tap that. It gives me lots of options. There's a search box at the very top. I'm just going to type in app. Because what we're wanting to do, we're wanting our phone to do something when an app is open or closed. So I'm going to select here on app, and you'll notice it says when app is opened, or next to it, it says is closed. I gotta use my pointer here. All right, so it's already set on is open, but I could change that to is closed, and that's how I did the one with Uber. Right now we're just going to do settings, okay? Because we want to keep the thief out of the settings app. Down here it says run after confirmation, which basically says your phone is going to pop up a message. Do you want me to run this automation? And the thief would say no. So we want to change that to run immediately. So we set that to run immediately when it is open. Over here on that blue button is where we can select what app or apps that we want this to happen on. So here's a list of my apps. I'm going to search for settings. I tap on it, it gives me that blue check mark, and then I'm going to select here on done. All right, so now look at what this screen is saying. When the app settings is opened, run immediately. All right, so now we just have to tell it what do we want our phone to do. So we're going to click up here on the next button, and lots of options. Just watch. In the middle of the screen, there's this gray little box called New Blank Auto. I'm going to tap on that. And in this search window here, I'm going to type lock. And one of the options that it finds for me is lock screen. I can select lock screen and select done. And now, right here, it says when settings is open, lock the screen. I'm going to show you what this looks like. Are you guys ready? So I'm back here on my home page. When I tap on settings, it locked my phone.
Yeah.
What's the thief gonna say?
Now, how do you open it?
Exactly, how do you get a new settings now?
Very good question, everybody. I love the way you asked your question. So, how do you get into my settings app? Let me show you this again. Now, one thing I will tell you is if you have facial recognition on your phone, or if you at least have a thumbprint recognition, you can do this and it will be nice. If you don't, and you have to type in your numeric passcode, what I'm about to show you guys is not going to be very friendly. All right? I'm going to teach you. You can try it, and you most likely will get frustrated because you're always going to have to put in that little passcode, where the rest of us that have facial ID, this is what it looks like. Okay? So I'm going to tap on settings. I just look at my phone, I swipe up, and it opens. Okay, one more time. I tap on settings, I look at my phone, I swipe up, and it opens. Everybody see that? It's really not that hard. It just cost me one more swipe up to get into an app, and it did just lock my phone when that particular app was opened. Yes, Paul?
And the important part of that is if the thief does that, he's locked out.
If the thief does that, he is locked out.
Right.
That's right. So this is what I'm saying. What we want to do is create tripwires. When he closes the Uber app, it's locked down. When he tries to open the settings app, it's locked down. If he, for some reason, got into a banking app and the bank is sending me an email, or he tries to go into my email account to change my email password, or to read down through my emails and find out what bank I use, as soon as he opens the email, it locks it down. These are the different tripwires that we can create through this little app that's called Shortcuts. Now, I'm going to show you one other thing. What's the time, Cindy? How much time do I have?
It is.
Oh, I have a phone.
Yeah,
Never
right
mind.
there.
Yeah. Okay. I
have
forgot I
about
had a
10
phone in my hand.
about
It's
10
not
more
normal
minutes.
that I do this thing. Okay.
10 more minutes.
I learned something else that's really cool. I mean, I set up 21 apps, because what I did is I sat down and I thought, okay, what apps would I have open when I'm out in a port city that a thief might steal my phone? Let's see if you guys can name 21. Name an app that you would have.
Google Maps.
Google Maps.
Apple
What?
Maps. Apple Maps.
Apple Maps.
GPS My City.
GPS by city.
Camera.
On camera. All of us are doing this. There's nothing dangerous about taking selfies like this with our arm extended out there. Nobody's going to be able to grab that out of our hand. Yeah, camera is going to be open. What else is going to be open? What?
Translate.
Oh, yes, Sunlight. Obviously, I can't hear what he said.
Translate.
Oh, translate. Yes, translate. Thank you. Translate. Uber. These are all good? Yeah. Lyft. We might be talking on the phone app. I'm going to be talking on my Google Voice app soon. So if you're in the middle of a phone call and somebody steals your phone out of your hand. So what I want you to do is think through, as you're out walking around the port cities, what are you opening? You might be opening Facebook to upload the photo you just took. You might be opening up photos to look at the photos that you just took with your camera app. Gallery would be one that you have open. So start thinking about, when you're out in Honolulu, what apps are you using when you're out on the road? WhatsApp to communicate with other people. I named 21. And so what I did is I created 21 tripwires that said,
Oh, that's good for you.
if a thief swipes away from that app, lock my phone down. Okay, when I did that, yes, Kevin?
Why not every app that you've got on?
Well, you could do every app that you have on the phone. It gets a little frustrating when you're out in the port city. I'm going to demonstrate what this looks like. But first, I'm going to show you how to make your phone behave differently when you're here on the ship and when you're off the ship, okay? And maybe the best way to do this is just demonstrate why we have to have this. So I have these 21 apps that automatically lock my phone when I'm not connected to the Wi-Fi of the ship. Watch this. I'm going to turn Wi-Fi off. Okay, so now my phone is not connected to the ship's Wi-Fi. I'm out in the port city. I might have Uber open. I might have my camera open. See, did you see that? I might have my camera open. I might have the photo gallery open. All right, so any of these apps that I have, Diane, can you do me a favor, please? Next time I'm presenting and my phone is displayed in front of the entire group, please remind me, do not open my photos. Thank you, Diane. Okay. So anyway, if you have any of these things open and you swipe away, you don't even have to close it. So I'm not completely closing it, I'm just swiping it away. The phone closes. And what I experience is when I'm off the ship, it is really frustrating because I'm constantly looking at my phone, swiping up, looking at my phone, swiping up. It's the price I pay to feel secure when I'm off the ship, but I definitely don't want to do this while I'm on the ship. So back to the Shortcuts app, and I want to show you how easy this is. So if I go into this automation that I've created, I'm going to go down here where we said lock the screen, and I'm going to make this a little bit different. All right, just watch this. It's all in the video. It will walk you step by step. You don't have to do it right now. I'm going to search for network, and it says get network details. And then I'm going to search for if, because I want to make a condition. If I'm on the ship, do this. If I'm not on the ship, do something else. All right, so I'm going to select if. And now I've got this whole nice little sentence that I'm building. And right here where it says get, well, let's use a pointer. Get the Wi-Fi network's name. If the network's detailed is anything, do some stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on anything, and I'm going to type in Odyssey _ residence.
Could you just type Odyssey and would be on anything, like if you have to be on crew or whatever? Do you
So,
have to say residence, or what, is it like a global?
as far as I know, you have to type in the actual name of that Wi-Fi. So if you're using your television, and my videos show you how to do 2 Wi-Fis, because we have to do our television and the Odyssey, and the television Wi-Fi in my room used to be this crazy long thing. I changed it to be shorter. Okay, so what I've got here is if the Wi-Fi name is Odyssey Residence.
You have to put a T, it's spelled wrong. Spelled wrong.
Thank you. And the other thing is we want to say when it is not. So right now the sentence says is, so I'm going to tap on is, and I'm going to change that to is not. So now the sentence says, if the network details is not Odyssey Residences. And it does have to be spelled correctly. That's what everybody was saying. So what we have to do here is you go up to the top, you press and hold lock the screen, and then it will allow you to move this. And you drag it down here. Okay? So now what this is saying is get the network name. If the network is not Odyssey Residence, lock the screen. So now watch this, what happens. I'm going to connect my Wi-Fi to Odyssey Residences. And now if I try and go and... Thank you very much.
Eddie.
And now, when I tap here, is my face as red as your shorts there? I don't know. When I tap on settings, watch what happens. It did not lock my phone. It checked to see where I was. It knew I was here on the ship. It did not lock it. It didn't frustrate me. I didn't have to do an extra swipe. It's perfect. But when I'm off the ship, all of these extra security measures fall into place. My phone gets a lot more frustrating to use when I'm off the ship, but I do feel safer that if a thief steals my phone, he's not going to get very far. Okay?
Then he just has to swipe it up?
Well, he just has to swipe up, but his face is not my face. So it's not going to open. Okay.
I like the precaution that you told us at the beginning is when you're off the ship, take another phone that doesn't have all these apps.
I have 5 minutes left. I'm going to open it up for questions. Yes? Say it again. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay, sorry. I like your first solution though, where if you have another phone, that you take off the ship, you don't have all these apps.
That's correct. So what he's saying is, when we were talking about the two phone option, that if we have two phones, the phone that we leave on the ship has all of our banking apps on it. Do we really have to do all this stuff on the phone that we carry off the ship? It is a much lower priority to do it. I think what I would say is that if you still have one banking app on your phone that you take off the ship, you should do this, okay? And if you're using Amazon on that phone, if you're using the wallet app, which you can tap your phone to buy things at a store, you should do these things. So depending upon how stripped down that phone is that you're taking off the ship, if there's anything financial in nature, I would recommend that you do these things on it. Next question. Yes?
What if you lock your cell phone? Because sometimes my phone does not recognize my face, and I have to,
Okay, her question is, what happens if you lock yourself out? She's saying that sometimes when she swipes, her phone does not recognize her face. It happens a lot if you have sunglasses on, different things, your phone doesn't recognize your face, and then you have to type in your passcode. The same thing will happen if you're off the ship and you close Uber or you open your email, whatever those tripwires are that we set, and your phone doesn't recognize your face. You can try it a second time or a third time, and then by that time my iPhone will generally say, tell me your passcode, and then I do have to type my passcode in. But you can generally try here's what happens to me. I have my sunglasses on, I swipe up, it doesn't recognize it, I do this, and then I swipe up. Yes?
I've got the same problem with my computer. It sometimes doesn't recognize my fingerprint, and there's no way.
Yeah, and so she's saying sometimes on her computer it doesn't recognize her fingerprint, and so at that moment you do have to type in your code, your password, and it would be the same. If your phone doesn't recognize your face, you're still locked. If your phone is locked, you have to put in your actual password. Okay, next question. Yes.
We just went through all this mess with the creeping crud that got all over the ship. If your thumbprint isn't recognized, go wash your hands.
Kevin said, if your thumbprint isn't recognized, go wash your hands. Okay. So, I went through a lot of information last week and today. I just want to take you back to show you some more details on my laptop as we finish today, because there's an entire video series that I want all of you guys to watch and apply to your phone. So let me get back projected here. Cindy, how much time do I have?
About a minute. Maybe.
1 minute. Gonna wrap it up. My YouTube channel has at least 8 videos on it, all covering these topics. I've tried to make them very short and simple, with very simple to follow things. I couldn't possibly teach all of you in a group like this how to do it, so watch your videos. This one is just what you learned today, how to protect those banking apps and hide them. There's a little bit more details in there that you go into the settings app to configure. This is how to protect your Face ID and your Apple account. We don't want the thief going into settings and changing your Apple password or changing your Face ID to his Face ID. That video will teach you how to stop that. This one will teach you how to stop him from reading your emails and texts. You've kind of already learned that tonight, but watch that whole video. This one is how to configure your phone to lock your phone when he closes anything. And this one will create a password to really lock your phone down. Lots of great videos, step by step. Go to my YouTube channel. This is the name of the YouTube channel. And there is a QR code that you can scan as we leave. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Eddie. That's just amazing.
Thank you for watching. I hope this content today helps you in your international traveling. Please subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out. And if you did find this information beneficial to you, please share it with your friends and family and on your social media. Coming up next are links to some other videos that I really believe will help you in your travels.